What if every word you spoke became reality? In a small quiet village, one girl kept her mouth shut for 12 years, until she whispered a single word that shattered everything. This is the haunting story of Amara, the girl who never spoke. Stay with me. Long, long ago, in a quiet town of Okoro, the land of the strong, lived a girl who never spoke. The village of Okoro was situated at the foot of the great Ogu Mountains, not far away from the ancient forests of Abba. Her name was Amara. For 12 years, not one word passed her lips. Not when the fire took her home. Not when her parents' bodies were pulled from the ash. Not when the elders whispered that she should never have survived. She just watched. Quiet. Always listening. But silence has a story. And Amara's began, with a scream. 12 years earlier, deep in the night, the villagers were woken by flames. Amara's home, her parents' compound, was engulfed in fire. Her father, a respected herbalist, had been warning the elders about something he found buried in the hills, strange bones wrapped in red cloth, bound by twine and cowries. He wanted it sealed away. Burned. But they refused. Said it was sacred ground. Leave what is buried to the gods, they told him. But he didn't listen. The night before the fire, he brought it home, wrapped in a calabash. He placed it beneath his prayer mat. Hours later, flames devoured the house. They never found what was inside the calabash. But they found Amara. She was alone. Unburnt. Her eyes were wide. And she was silent. She hadn't spoken since. They said she was cursed. Mama Ngozi, her father's younger sister, took her in. Raised her quietly on the edge of town. Kept her away from festivals. From crowds. From questions. Amara never cried. Never laughed. Never spoke. But she drew. Endless sketches. Of twisted trees, faces with missing mouths, and houses engulfed in flame. She drew them in her sleep. She drew them before they happened. Then came the New Yam festival. A time of rest, peace, rejoicing, harvest, and above all, merry. The town was alive with drums and dancing. Laughter bounced through the streets. Color spilled into the streets. Drummers pounded their rhythms. Children danced, dust rising under their feet. Smoke from roasted corn twisted into the sky. Amara walked slowly behind Mama Ngozi. Her eyes darted left and right, watchful. Nervous. People whispered as she passed. The mute girl. She's not right. She draws death. But she kept walking. Then, she stopped. Her eyes locked on a food vendor's cart. She stared, frozen. Her hands trembled. Beneath the cart, she saw it. A creeping black smoke, thick and oily, like it had a mind of its own. No one else noticed. The music was too loud. The laughter too full. Amara stepped onto a bench. She turned to the crowd. And whispered one word. Run. People blinked. Some laughed. Some froze, some gasped. Others looked around, confused. No one listened. And then, boom. A gas tank exploded. Flames roared. Metal flew. People screamed, ran, fell. Chaos flooded the air. And Amara stood still. Unharmed. untouched. From that moment, the town changed. Amara was no longer just the mute girl. She was something else now. A prophet. A warning. A threat. They came to her doorstep. With fruits, coins, prayers, and trembling voices. Please, tell me if my son will recover. Can you tell me if I should travel next week? Will I die, Amara? But Amara said nothing. She went back to her silence, and to her drawings. And then, they started dying. One by one. The food vendor, dead from a heart attack. A gossiping neighbor, fell from his roof. The priest who called her gifted, found lifeless in his chapel, a drawing clenched in his hands. Whispers turned to panic. She's cursed. She's a witch. She's bringing judgment. They gathered outside her home with sticks, machetes, holy water. Mama Ngozi barred the door. She grabbed Amara by the shoulders. What are you? She cried. Are you doing this? Speak to me. Amara looked up slowly. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't want this, she whispered. She told her aunt everything. About the fire. The buried bundle. After the fire that killed her parents, Amara had wandered into the forest. And there, deep within the shadows, she heard a voice. An ancient spirit. It offered her a gift, and a curse. Speak, it whispered, and your words will shape reality. But every word will cost you. So she chose silence. Not to punish the world, but to save it. Because the spirit lives in her voice. But now, it was awake again. And it wanted more. The crowd broke down the door. Amara stood in front of Mama Ngozi. Her voice steady. Her face calm. She looked at them, burning with fear and rage. And whispered her second word. Sleep. One by one, they dropped. Not dead. Not bleeding. Just sleeping. Peaceful. Still. She turned to Mama Ngozi. I can't stay. And without another word, she walked out into the night. Toward the forest. Toward the voice. Toward whatever was coming next. Days passed. For days, her room sat untouched. But on her bed, Mama Ngozi found one final sketch. A girl, walking into a forest of shadows. Behind her, a mouthless spirit drawn in smoke. Some silences protect. Some silences curse. But Amara's silence was never hers to begin with. Some silences are chosen. Some are forced. But Amara's silence held the weight of a world trying to speak through her. If this story gave you chills, moved you, or made you think, don't let it stay silent. Like, share, and subscribe for more gripping tales like this one. And tell me in the comments. Was Amara a curse, or a gift? Until next time, keep listening. Because even silence tells a story.